Joshua, as a young man, became an assistant to Moses, a role that allowed him to observe and learn from Moses, a great leader of Israel at that time. In Deuteronomy 31, Moses commissioned Joshua in front of all the Israelites to lead the people into the land the Lord swore to their forefathers to give them, and divide it among them as their inheritance. Moses laid his hand on Joshua, transferring his authority. Joshua's leadership would be defined by his commitment to God's word and his reliance on God's guidance. Joshua was selected as one of the 12 spies to scout the land of Canaan. 10 of the spies came back with fear and doubt, but Joshua and Caleb stood apart. They saw the same giant and fortified cities, but instead of focusing on the obstacle, they focused on the promise of God. The faithless spies that spread the fear among the people, leading to a rebellion that resulted in 40 years of wandering in the wilderness. God declared that only Joshua and Caleb among that generation would enter into the promised land. Joshua led the Israelites across the Jordan River into the promised land. The Jordan River receded when the priest walking with the Ark of the Covenant in front, leading the people across the Jordan River. Joshua was one who led the invasion of Jericho by following God's order of walking around Jericho 13 times, once each time for 6 days, and 7 times on the 7th day. When Joshua had spoken to the people, the 7 priests carrying the 7 trumpet before the Lord went forward, blowing their trumpets, and the Ark of the Covenant followed them. The armed guard marched ahead of the priests who blew the trumpets, and the rear guard followed the ark. All this time the trumpet was sounding. On the 7th day and the 7th time around the city, the trumpet sounded. The army shouted at the sound of the trumpet. When the men gave a loud shout, the wall collapsed, so everyone charged straight in, and they took the city. And the Israelite was able to invade Jericho successfully. Joshua led Israel to the promised land. They battled the Canaanites for the land. After victory, Joshua divides up the promised land for the inheritance of the 12 tribes. Joshua reminded the people of all that God had done for them, from the time of Abraham to the deliverance from Egypt and the conquest of the promised land. Joshua's message was clear. The people were to fear the Lord and serve him with all faithfulness. He called on them to throw away their God and serve the Lord alone. He knew the human's heart's tendency to stray and the dangers of complacency. Joshua 24 verses 15 reads, "But if serving the Lord seems undesirable to you, then choose for yourself this day whom you will serve, whether the gods your ancestors served beyond the Euphrates or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you are living. But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord." Joshua passed away at the age of 110 after giving his final charge. He was the man of faith, courage, and obedience who led the people into the promised land and established them there. His story is a powerful reminder of the importance of trusting God's promises, seeking his guidance, and living a life of faithfulness to him.